Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Today I want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers run game, or lack of a run game, miserable through 2 weeks, and I want to break down some of the issues. I'll put it into two buckets, one schematics, two execution. Let's talk about it. And before I get into the tape, if you guys could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here on, I guess it'd be Thursday morning, so we'll see how well I get through this, but I was going through the tape and said, man, I got to talk about it right now. So we'll start here with the scheme issues and just not getting a hat on guys. This is week 1 against San Francisco. No, Pittsburgh did not run the ball that many times, 9 times by the running backs, but just watch 54, Fred Warner, one of the top off-ball linebackers in football. Zone scheme here from Pittsburgh to the left, and the D-line slants down, and the zone track gets all screwed up with, say, Amalu there. And bottom line is, there's nobody on Fred Warner. No one has a hat on Fred Warner. Now, I think on paper, say Amalu's supposed to climb here and get to him, but obviously does not happen. And you got one of the best linebackers in football with a free shot in the hole on Najee Harris, and he does what Fred Warner does and cleans this thing up. So anytime you get an unblocked linebacker, it's going to be a tough day for your rushing attack. When that guy's Fred Warner, it looks like that. So frankly, that play could have been also put into the execution bucket, but linebackers running free is the theme I want to talk about in kind of this first segment. This is a little bit later against San Francisco, and watch 48, the linebacker. In this instance, I don't know who's supposed to account for the linebacker on this play. I don't see anyone getting a hat here on the will linebacker, the backside linebacker here. Another split flow, split zone action. You got, looks like Connor Hayward coming across here on the end man. That's fine. But who has responsibility on the will linebacker on this play? I don't know who's supposed to climb and come up. I don't see anybody who's supposed to do that. I think everything else here got more coming off of the linebacker on Warner this time. And so you just have this guy free. I mean, you're just not in the right box count, or you're not just drawing this thing up to get a hat on this guy. And so once Harris cuts back on this zone scheme, he's, it's the correct read, but he's cutting right back into an unblocked linebacker. And so what is the goal to take care of him? Now, if you want to be one-on-one with a corner, that's fine. Make cornerbacks tackle. That's a good scheme, but you got linebackers free. Their job is to make tackles, and that happens on this play. So we'll take a look at it from the end zone view. Again, number 48 right here. Who's responsible? Who's supposed to get a hat on 48 here? I don't think anybody does. He's free, fills the hole, and makes a stop. Last clip from the 49ers game, and again, Fred Warner's going to be unblocked and really by design. Now, I know the intent here is the motion with Calvin Austin jetting across and the tight ends, fanning out. There's a component where they can hand it off here. I don't know if that's a predetermined thing or just based on what Pickett sees at the line, and so they're trying to hopefully draw the linebacker out and kind of have some window dressing there. But Warner, again, top linebacker, he's not fooled. And I know there's other issues on this play as well, but you see Jaylen Warren, he has a chance here to cut this one all the way back. Another zone scheme. Can he cut off the hip, the outside hip here of Chukwuemeka? He wants to, but then sees Warner free coming down, and so he just takes it up the middle and tries to barrel ahead. And I don't blame Warren for that for 1 second. So again, what is the intent to get this Mike linebacker, and not only a Mike linebacker, but the best linebacker in football, blocked up? Again, no, there's issues elsewhere. Warner just helps squeeze this one down, though, and does not allow the running back on this zone scheme to have even the thought to cut back here. And just what is the goal to get this guy blocked up? The motion is the intent, but it has not worked. It doesn't work that effectively. They tried it against Cleveland on the 2-point play, and linebackers just running free all day against Pittsburgh. Now we'll jump to the Browns game Monday night, and there were just so many perimeter runs. And in this example, it looks like on paper, everyone's got a hat on a hat, or maybe the running back's supposed to be one-on-one with the corner on this crack toss to the field on this play. So it's not like the 49ers game where I just don't even understand how guys are supposed to be blocked. But man, you're trying to run, crack toss, these perimeter runs against a really athletic, fast flow Cleveland Browns defense. And A, the box is stacked, and B, just the Browns have so much speed sideline to sideline that this play really has no chance. And it's not like Najee Harris runs 4-4 or anything like that either. So just overall, you got Lyman at the second level, but, the Browns are keying the run so hard that you see Cole and I don't know if that was a core four or James Daniels. It was a core four. They're not touching anybody on this play. And I don't necessarily fault them. I just think schematically you're trying to run perimeter stuff when you got linebackers like JOK, who we'll see another clip of here in a moment, and the DNs, and you got these, DBs down here in the box. And, they're just stringing this run out. So I don't know what the goal is here to try to run perimeter stuff against this really aggressive, fast flow Browns defense. Last thought on some of the more schematic side of things and linebackers being free. Just want you to watch number 6, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Again, one of the fastest, best sideline to sideline linebackers, and he's not running, sideline to sideline here. But who's blocking up the Mike linebacker on this play? And it's not the only issue. We'll talk about in a moment here some of the other stuff as well. But I think Pittsburgh's zone scheme, their inside zone, has been just a mess. The track's been bad. Guys aren't climbing. Guys really aren't securing these first-level blocks well. When D-line slants, I think it really screws Pittsburgh up, as it does kind of here a bit between, say, Molly, the left guard, and Cole, the center. Cole kind of gets back on track, but he's late to the linebacker here, number 5, Anthony Walker. And even if Cole has the block on Walker, you got JOK free. There's nobody that appears to be by design supposed to climb and work to JOK. Again, you have this jet action where the linebackers are trying to pull some of these guys with their eyes. I think here we'll see it with Washington and Connor Hayward. Yeah, we just saw that in San Francisco. And I mentioned, won't even show it, but the 2-point play, they do the same thing. And all these runs have failed miserably. And so it's just frustrating there. But to the point, who is blocking JOK? Who is blocking the Mike linebacker? I have no idea. And linebackers running free, you're going to have a bad time. We'll look at it from the end zone view. Again, number 6, JOK here. I don't get it. It could be me out there. You got a guy free in the hole here. He cleans this one up. And again, other issues on the play. The D-line slanting against the zone run. Cole having trouble getting to Anthony Walker. And he makes a tackle there initially. But I just don't understand what the how you're drawing this one up and expecting it to look good. And then you mix in a dash of poor execution and you get dead runs like this. Now let's focus really primarily on execution, because it all goes hand in hand, scheme, execution. It's not just one or the other. And they ran this concept a couple of times, and I don't know exactly what to call it. It looks like a zone run. You kind of get this motion here from Connor Hayward as that lead blocker, sort of like what Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel run. They call it their Zorro toss, where they're trying to get usually one of those fullbacks, kind of a running start across the field. So I don't know exactly what you want to call this other than a mess is what you can call it here on this play. There's so much going on here where Cole can't reach and cut off. It's a tough block for him to make. James Daniels misses at the second level. You got Hayward doubling on a core 4. Pickens can't crack the DB coming down. One issue here, Cole can't make his block. Second issue, James Daniels, he can't make the block here. He loses. Maybe he's trying to leverage and turn him inside, but the linebacker's getting through the hole. Third issue here, and hopefully you guys can see it. Double team, Hayward and a core 4. Don't know why Hayward's doing that. Fourth issue, Pickens not securing a crack back at all on the, or crack block, I should say, on the safety. We'll take a look at it from the end zone view. Probably better to view it this way, to be honest, but you got just many failures here on this play. Now, we'll start with Cole. No, it's a tough block. 3-tech trying to come across. Daniels maybe could have done a better job of trying to chip and help give time for Cole to secure this one, but he can't do it. So you got penetration here. Daniels misses on JOK again. He wrecked this game all day. Hayward, don't know why he's going here, not trying to work upfield. He's now doubling the lefty end when a core 4 clearly has him secured. And then finally, George Pickens not able to crack the safety at all, who's filling this as well. So you want to know why the run game is bad? You got 4 missed blocks, 4 missed assignments on this play, and you get stuff like this. And you have just a general concept and principle of trying to run perimeter stuff here against this fast flow defense. And so it's all just a pile. It's just really sad here to watch this run. It's probably, I think, one of the worst called and one of the worst executed, quote-unquote, plays that Pittsburgh has run so far. Now, I just said that last play was one of the worst. This one's a strong contender because you got issues front side and back side here. Another zone run. I think the zone runs have been a big problem. I think their man scheme, their duo scheme has been not great, but better than this. And so you got issues here front side. Mason Cole losing his block. It's hard to say for sure because zone schemes, you're working down the track, and based on how the D line, if they're slanting, depending on where they go, it's kind of depending how you're going to block this one up. But you have Cole and Daniels. It looks like Cole loses the block here because I see Daniels climbing to the next level. So you got frontside issues, backside. You got Pat Freiermuth. I don't know what Pat Freiermuth is doing here. I mean, I'm not expecting a ton. It's backside cutoff. You're on a DN. That's a Darius Smith. He's a big guy, but I mean, what is that? Again, he's trying to maybe execute this kind of backside cut off, this kind of cut block just to hold him. I'm not expecting, a great block here, but I mean, what is going on here? You'll see Pat right about here, maybe, showing, my bad on that one. We'll look at it from the end zone view just to confirm, like, Pat recognizes this was not a good rep, and he's probably going to see some Max Crosby on Sunday night against the Raiders, and so it's not going to get any easier. You see a Freiermuth tapping his chest or saying, that's my bad. So it's one rep, not going to be the end of the world, but man, dude, like, give me something there. And then to top it all off, just to combine this terrible Sunday, you got 44, Taki, free, unblocked. Who's blocking Taki? I don't know who's supposed to get a hat on him here on this play. I mean, is it really supposed to be like Allen Robinson here? Because this run's going to the left. How is Robinson going to crack down? And also you have now Austin and Robinson blocking the same guy. So what's going on there on number 0? So you just kind of see these things layer and add up. And so you got missed block on the backside, lost block on the front side, linebacker free, 2 receivers doubling the corner, and no one trying to work towards the safety. So if everything went right to the core of the play, the safety's at least free, and he's going to probably be able to make the tackle there. So again, just looked at 4 issues on the last play. You can say 1 issue, 2 issues, 3 issues, 4 issues on this play, and Jaylen Warren has nowhere to go. All right, let's isolate just one man here. Rookie tight end Darna Washington, brought in to be that big-bodied blocker, and he's had his moments. He pancaked Nick Bosa in week 1. I think he's worked much better with angles on down blocks when he really uses his size and his length and his strength on some of these base blocks where he's got to really fight his height and leverage. Just getting blown up here by number 91. And otherwise, this one is actually blocked up relatively well. If Washington, in theory, could have sustain this block better and not get pushed into Najee Harris's lap, then you might have had something. Just to look at it from the end zone view, here is Washington right there, and he just it's a tough block. I mean, that D-line's slanting down and, pushing down pretty hard, so I get that, and he's a rookie and got to work on leverage and all that kind of stuff. But, just really more isolated to this example instead of the many issues before. But other than that, I mean, you had a chance here, and often run games come down to, if one guy did this small thing a bit better, then we're going to break this one. We've seen examples of many issues, but often, even for Pittsburgh, it's kind of a isolated, more minor thing. But other than that, Freiermuth with a core for Daniels climbing. I mean, you got some room here. I don't know exactly how the picture's going to look, but there's something there. And unfortunately, Washington loses his rep here, and we'll look at it from the end zone view or the other end zone view. There is Washington right here. And just going for a ride into Najee Harris's lap. Last example, and I believe this is called Crunch. We did a video on Crunch last year. It's kind of a double wham with a couple of linemen working to the second level. It's like I said, or almost 2 a.m. here, so I'm trying to recall the Crunch scheme. But you're going to see, and it looks kind of funky, but it is by design, and it can be effective. You're going to see Dan Moore climb to the second level, and also we're going to see it's Mason Cole and Chukwuma Okorafor climbing to the second level, and you're going to see these kind of wham earhole blocks by Darna Washington, the tight end, and Isaac Seumalo, the left guard, on these defensive tackles, and that's the idea, and it almost works. It almost worked last year against the Colts. They ran it, and actually worked much better against the Colts last year. Harris got tackled by Stephon Gilmore. But let's look at the issue on the play, starting here front side. Darnell Washington stepping on Dan Moore's foot and getting tripped up right there. Kind of the block still sort of works, but Moore gets off balance, and it's not clean. Harris has to cut, and Garrett gets off the block here and helps make this tackle. So just basic stuff like that. I mean, this game, there's just so much sloppiness, even beyond the run game. Pickett had a play action, and he tripped over Najee and had to try to recover, and just little dumb things like that frustrate you as a coaching staff. So watching Washington on this play trip, throws Moore off, throws the block off. I know people will say Allen Robinson did not do a good job here, but I think he's actually mostly in the right. On this crunch scheme, the way they ran it last year is you want to crack the safety down and create this one-on-one matchup with the corner. And so Harris is supposed to kind of run off the outside hip of Allen Robinson to the outside and kind of get funneled to the cornerback to put them one-on-one. That happened last year. Now, I think Robinson got upfield a bit too much, and you kind of falls out of frame here, so I'll go back. I think he got upfield a bit too much and really wasn't in position to crack well anyway, so that is one thing I think he has to work on. But I think he's not really supposed to block from the inside. He's supposed to kind of have this outside leverage to push down, because Harris is supposed to hit this and then kind of bounce outside, and Robinson will get in the way, and then you're 1v1 on the corner. So Robinson, not perfect here, but I don't think it's as bad as it initially looks. But just overall, just little things off on this play. There's a chance this thing could hit, at least get you the matchup that you want, one-on-one on Martin Emerson Jr., the corner, I should say. It's late, but just small things like this, just tripping up and killing the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so that is my breakdown of the broken down Pittsburgh Steelers running game. So there's scheme issues, there's not getting hats on linebackers, there's execution issues, and to be a little fair, again, against the 49ers, they really didn't have a chance to develop a run game because they fell behind. The Browns are a good front, they're a well-coached defense by Jim Schwartz, and hopefully it'll be better against the Raiders Sunday night. Their run defense on paper, it's not as strong. They don't play their base defense, or their base defense is their nickel defense. They don't play their big people, even if you go big. So I think Pittsburgh should come out heavy in this one and see if the Raiders respond and go 4-3. If not, if they stay in their 4-2-5 nickel, then we'll see, but you should be able to run on that. But all that is to say, this run game right now looks broken, has to get cleaned up on multiple levels, and we'll see if it does against the Raiders Sunday night. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who has so far. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.